Hello everybody, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play Gabriel Knight, the 20th Anniversary Edition. Well, it's day 3. We just got done talking with Professor Hartridge at Tulane University, and have aroused his interest in the case, and found some evidence that the Voodoo and the Voodoo murders is in fact authentic. But our next little mission is not going to be quite so noble. You'll remember that last time we also got the contact information of a Madame Cassino. And we have now acquired her address for reasons which are, well, rather vague apart from the fact that she knows something about voodoo. So we are about to go barge into some old lady's house completely uninvited. Now, we can, of course, knock on the door, but she's not going to let a strange man into her apartment. Much less somebody like us who is, well, clearly up to no good. Much less an old lady who is so paranoid that she's spending what remains of her family fortune on voodoo cures and curses to fight the various evils around her. Pretty much the only thing we know about this woman is that she is a devout Catholic and loves her little dog. So how are we going to get in to see her, you ask? Well, it is for this reason that we robbed a church. So you'll note that we now have a white priest collar, and thanks to my raiding our closet earlier, we have a black shirt. And this is a change from the original Gabriel Knight game where you just stole the shirt with the collar attached. I guess they decided it was too unlikely that there would be a priest shirt that would be Gabriel's size, but we will go ahead and combine the shirt with the collar and take a look at that. And well, we can't actually look at that. Gabriel is carrying a black shirt and priest collar, which, surprise, surprise, does not belong to him. But we also have this hair gel, and we now have a priest disguise.
It looks like my priest outfit is complete.
So click on Gabriel, use the priest outfit.
All right, but this is private.
So I'll just duck into an alleyway and dress up in this priest outfit.
Yes? Who is it?
Father McLaughlin, pet supply salesman, land shark, magazine subscriptions, voodoo article. Father McLaughlin, come to see ye.
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
Father McLaughlin, you say? You must be new in the parish. I'm so pleased to meet you, Father. Do come in.
Thank you, my child.
I would say that the Irish accent is a bit obnoxious and obvious, but it's not like it's any worse than the French accents in this game.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
Whiskey! Oh, sorry, wrong Irish stereotype. Madame Casino looks fragile and pale under a thick layer of face powder. If Gabriel's not mistaken, she's a slice short of a loaf. And let's look at Castro. Castro cues a flea on a piece of fruit.
Nice doggy. Good Castro.
That dog is, of course, a judge of character. Good judge of character. So, operate the old lady. Oh, why not? Gabriel's impersonating a priest. Yeah, pick her up. Madame Casino would not appreciate that. The sofa is velvet and is wearing nearly as much of Madame Casino's face powder as Madame herself. The painting behind the couch is a Madonna and child. Madame's parlor is full of carefully dusted and polished relics of her past. And a rosary. Madame finds comfort in these iconic images, it seems. It's a painting of a pretty young lady in old-fashioned clothes.
Madam in younger days?
Good heavens, no, Father.
Well, let's get to business.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my child?
Of course not, mon père.
Now, of course, the first thing we're supposed to ask about is, well, some French phrase, for some reason, but let's just run through the less obvious stuff first.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
The only true New Orleans are of French origin, you know. My family were among the original settlers of New Orleans. They came here from France. The Creole society used to be so gay in New Orleans.
Still is.
Now, it barely hangs on by its fingernails.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
Oh, St. John's Eve, mais oui. I used to love the St. John's Eve Mass at St. Louis Cathedral. Of course, it is also a night of great wickedness, worse than All Hallows Eve. They will corrupt anything, Father.
They? They who?
Oh, you know.
What can you tell me about Voodoo?
People think I'm just a foolish old woman, but I know the things they do. My family's been in New Orleans since 1750, so I know more than most. Voodoo people are all over the city, in the shops, everywhere. They'll curse you like that, and most people don't even notice. Spit on your bread at the bakery. Take strands of your hair at the store when you try on clothes. Oh, you have to be so careful. But I know their ways, so I can protect myself. I know how to use the magic too, and I can counteract their evil spells.
Yeah, I love how she didn't even blink at me asking about voodoo out of the blue.
Tell me more about Voodoo in New Orleans.
It's just plain evil. It's dangerous to even discuss it.
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I don't think I should say any more about that.
Probably not.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, her. I could tell you about her. Voodoo Queen? Ah! My great-grandmother was an acolyte of Marie Laveau. She knows the truth about her.
Okay.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
No, I won't say anything more. Not to you, Father. I'm sure you mean well, but you are an outsider.
Well, there's a quick way to determine that we are not an outsider.
Do you have any idea what caprice encore means?
Maybe. I know. I bet you do not know, Father, n'est-ce pas?
It means goat without horns.
Father, you surprised me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being. That's right. Slit your throat, cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandmother could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in New Orleans, but the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
Alright, well...
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
She was only a front for the real evildoers, Father. And that's the truth about Marie Laveau.
Alright, well... As long as we're asking about everything else...
What do you know about the Voodoo murders?
Voodoo murders? Ah, they are nothing new to me, Father. They happen all the time. I hardly go out anymore. It's too dangerous in the streets. They can get you anywhere, you know. Even here, in this room. But I try not to let them know about me. That's the best way.
What else do you know about the Voodoo murders?
Shh! They'll hear you.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes, they're evil creatures. Did you know that evil people can send them into your dreams? They can. That's why I never sleep.
Right, thanks.
That explains a lot.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
Surprising.
Do you know anything about babies?
No, Father.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Oh, yes, Father. It is the wickedest kind. The kind they practice here in New Orleans.
Can you tell me anything else about human sacrifice?
What is to tell? They cut your heart out.
Love that at the end.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
Nothing like being thorough.
Do you know anything else about snakes?
It would be bad luck to talk about that anymore.
Well, let's chat.
It's so nice of you to invite me in.
But no, mon père. I am always happy to see one of the good fathers.
Do you find the weather to your liking?
It's terribly humid. I only go out in the morning and the evening.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? I am Creole. My family has been in New Orleans for over 200 years. Real New Orleanians are French, you see. These days, the city is overrun with people with no heritage at all. No offense, Father, but it's true. But the French, naturellement, will always be the true blood of New Orleans.
Kiss my Irish arsehole bigot.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, Father, I don't know what else to say.
What a delightful little dog you have.
Ah yes, Castro is my boon companion.
Aren't you a member of the Creole Grand Arms?
Why, yes. We do much charitable work in the community, you know.
Have you been attending Mass regularly, my child?
Oh, yes, Father. I attend Mass every morning. Many don't these days, you know.
You're dedicated, madam. Who are the real voodoo queens?
Well, my great-grandmother told me that Laveau was just a front, a flamboyant decoy. She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo enfant. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Laveau, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
Is there anything else you can remember about the real voodoo queen?
Well, my great-grandmother said the real voodoo queen was the most beautiful woman on earth. She had the most incredible copper-colored skin.
This is not foreshadowing anything at all.
Is there anything else you can remember about the real voodoo queen?
Well, they're all brides of Satan. Other than that, I can't think of anything.
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound for.
Well, I've never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you bade me. But it's here in New Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear their drums at night, oh yes. That's why I'm so ill, I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there, I can tell you. I'll show you something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, Father.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if ever there was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother. She told my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
To tell you the truth, I've always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, Father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake. Even though its vibes aren't great, let it do nobody harm. When they wear it on their arm, voodoo spirits go away. Don't come back another day. And now let us pray.
It's a bracelet in the shape of a snake. Well, clearly. Oh, if only we had some way of making a copy of this somehow. But we'd have to have, you know, modeling clay or something very much like it. Oh, wait. I just happen to have been carrying this clay around in the pockets of my trench coat that I'm no longer wearing, and just happened to be able to pull it forth and mold it around this silver bracelet without this old lady noticing, or any bit of it flaking off on the thing later when I hand it back to her. Sorry, was that a little too sarcastic? Gabriel has a thought about the clay.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse, oh take it, Wilbur.
A lovely blessing, mon père.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression. Here you go.
I feel so much better now.
And for those who are curious, there is not, in fact, a Saint Wilbur. I looked it up just in case there might be a Saint Wilbur who is the patron of jewelers or some such, but nope.
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound for.
I told you we shouldn't talk about it.
Alright, well that is all we need from Madame Cassino. So now, let us leave. And go and do something much less harmful and negative toward our spiritual welfare. Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall. Well, you remember that Dr. John told us about this place. And I double-clicked over the narration there, but let's see. Near the Laveau tomb is a piece of red brick, undoubtedly a cast-off from spiritual graffiti writers. The markings are reddish in color, remind Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here for a few days at least. Well, never know. This might be useful.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
Okay, and this is now labeled as Voodoo code in our inventory. Looking at the series of crosses, Gabriel can't help but think they have a pattern and meaning he is not comprehending. Well, it doesn't seem like there's much else to do here unless you look around and exit the tomb. And remember the Day 3 poem that said about finding our heart's desire in the halls of the dead? What a coinkydink.
Malia?
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
Unnoticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else.
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
Whatever for?
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that a million times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
Me either.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
This isn't a musical, Mr. Knight. We live in different worlds.
Look, I know you got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I've got a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See, I knew it. You're crazy about me too. Come by tonight, please. My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Damn it.
A stone angel leans down to gaze at something unseen. An angel draped dramatically over a stone plinth marks the entrance to a large tomb. Yeah. Mouse got away from me there for a second. And oh hey! An old man tends a cemetery of movements akin to a slow drawl. Well, as long as we're here.
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
And it looks like we got Marie Laveau as an option, but let's go ahead and ask about everything.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I don't really care to talk about it. I don't do it none myself.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Isn't it just awful, them finding old bodies with the voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
Yeah, I got a college professor who says you're wrong, pal.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I told you all I know about that.
Alright.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them aren't poisonous, of course. I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I told you all I know about that.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Well, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo. Sometimes we get weird goings-on in the cemetery on that night. More often on a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and who knows what.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do in them, but it can be pretty.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
I told you all I know about that.
What can you tell me about Narlands?
Seem like everyone wants to visit Narlands at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tours. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
What can you tell me about Narlands?
There are lots of things to see here, but none as beautiful as St. Louis Cemetery #1.
What can you tell me about Narlands?
If you want to know more, you should ask someone else.
Do you have any idea what Capri San Call means?
Nope, can't say that I do.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? I've seen lots of voodoo markings in this cemetery. I've seen graves dug up and stuff you don't want to know about stolen from them. But voodoo? Black voodoo? Sounds like a devil of a distinction, if you ask me.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there was the hope.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I don't know what you're...
Do you know?
I told you.
Tell me about it.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis number 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they doing.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
I'm just colorful background character, son. Don't pay me no mind.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
I don't know nothing about that.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans, a powerful voodooian and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leave offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from that voodoo museum, he's here at least once a day. But Marie Laveau's tomb isn't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
You said there were other mock tombs?
Yep. I've seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and congreve. Animal parts, human parts even, it look like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this is one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
What else can you tell me about Marie Laveau?
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come round here to gawk.
Not the Baptists!
You may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all. Down in the unmarked tomb in number 3. It's all the same to me, I say. Saved me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, number 1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins will float right out of their graves. Ha! Them dead will go floating right down into the Coda. Of course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice. It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War. Back further, too. Take a look around. You'll see.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I mayhaps be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
That depends on how badly I play this game.
Kind of a quiet job you got, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah. They act up some at the full moon, though.
You must enjoy the company of dead folks.
Unlike the living, they ain't never given no reason to dislike them none.
At least they never complain.
How's business today?
About like every day. It's what you call a seller's market.
Eh.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, number 1.
Just look around. You'll get the feel of the place.
What other tombs got marked? Can you show me?
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so.
And that's all we get from Two Saints.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Well, I don't think I have any research I can ask Grace about at the
Got
moment.
a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Nothing I can think of at least, but oh wait, I do.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
Research this pattern.
I have a pattern I need you to research.
How interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Yuck. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want, but check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
And we can pester her about the rest of everything we've uncovered today later. Well, we're getting a little late in this video, so I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. But next time, we will ask Grace about the rest of the things we've uncovered, and I think that should close up day 3. We will see you then.